AITAH for pushing for an abortion after a non-consensual encounter? Buckle up for this one, everyone. This was fresh off the AITAH lounge. This as well will be a two-parter. AITAH for pushing for an abortion after a non-consensual encounter? So this has been the single most bizarre experience of my life. I, 29M, had been hosting dinner parties as a weekly thing for some time, and one of the regular attendees invited a girl, 32F, that they knew I liked. To be clear, I had been hoping for something to happen with this person, so when she was the last one in my apartment after the night had wound down and everyone else left, I didn't think anything of it. The thing is, I don't drink hardly ever save for culinary stuff, and for some stupid reason I consumed like 2 bottles of wine that night. I felt absolutely useless and like I needed to get to a bed and go into a coma, so I told her she was more than welcome to stay over. I woke up the next morning alone, everyone gone, and life continued as usual. Until I get a phone call 4 weeks later. She's pregnant, apparently mine, and basically tries to pass it off like, "Oh yeah, don't you remember we totally had sex that night?" And I was just completely flabbergasted. I know for 1000% certain I was not conscious if this happened, and the part that fucks with me the most is that I wanted it. Just not like that, I guess. Someone had sex with my body and stole my DNA. I don't particularly feel like a victim. But now I'm being treated like a monster for saying an abortion is absolutely the proper and moral thing to do here for all parties involved. I've not yet leveled the accusation of non-consent to her at this time, but she seems completely undaunted by the prospect of a paternity test. Again, I liked her at first, and I'm not trying to come across as a victim, but WTF do I do? And AITAH? Story 2. I'm refusing to talk to my father and spoiled sister who wants to walk down the aisle with me in white. Growing up, my sister, 29F, and I never seemed to get along. It was always a competition with her, and she found a way to have it her way all the time because I was a pushover and my parents were always busy, so they just assumed I didn't mind. Once a boy she liked asked me out, and because I knew she liked him, I turned him down and even offered to introduce him to my sister. I understood that she would be a little upset, but instead she goes around our school and family friends talking about how I threw myself on the guy she likes and what a whore I was. When I graduated high school, I got into a pretty good college on a half scholarship. I posted about it on my Instagram and even got treated to a fancy dinner by my cousins. All this while she was still living with us and attended a community college after my parents' persistence. When she found out about the posts and dinner, she went crying to my dad, who has always favored her, and took her side and threatened to not pay for my college for flexing and being ungrateful. There would also be times where he'd buy her whatever she wanted for her birthday, like a new phone or diamond jewelry, but if my mom or relatives bought me anything for my birthday, he'd make a face and mumble to himself about how much money I waste. For my 16th birthday, my mom bought me a diamond necklace with my name on it. My sister acted like she dropped it when I was away and damaged it by messing up the lock. We tried returning it and getting it fixed after, but they quoted my mom a very high amount to get it repaired. My dad somehow forced my mom to just exchange the necklace into money for family reasons, which was really just to throw my sister a bigger 17th birthday party, while he didn't even throw any party for my 16th birthday. His reason? You need to focus on your exams. Many years later, I moved out, took out a student loan, and got a job. My 28F fiancé, 29M, are getting married in May, and I love him a lot. I recently arranged a girls' trip to Vegas for my bachelorette party with all my girls. When I told my parents about this plan, my dad insisted I let my sister come with me too because a marriage in the family is a family event. My sister already booked tickets without even asking me if she could join us, which I found extremely annoying because I felt like I had my hand forced into allowing her to come. After talking to my fiancé about it, I decided I would let her come on our trip also because she's been spamming my phone practically begging me. On that trip, we were also going to go pick up my wedding dress and dresses for the bridesmaids. During the shopping, she was acting very rude and constantly commenting on the body shapes of other bridesmaids and making comments about how certain types of dresses would not look nice on them. She also picked the most cleavage-showing dresses that I was not very comfortable with on my wedding. A few days after shopping, I find out from the store manager that we had 2 white dresses to be tailored. I was confused and asked her what she meant, and she told me that one dress was the one I picked, and the other was a short lace mini white dress. I called up my maid of honor, my best friend, and she tells me that she saw my sister check out white dresses at the store. I called her up and asked if it was hers, and my dad joined the call and said it was only fair if she also walked down the aisles in white because she was getting older and is still single and may not have the experience of doing it in her 20s and is a good sister. It is only fair for me to want to do it with her as it shows our close sisterly bond. I told my bridesmaids and fiancé about this, and they were all shocked at my father's behavior. My mom has been pretty quiet about this whole situation but was also upset with my dad. I informed some of my cousins, and they all tried to talk to my dad about how that's a bad idea, and he said that he won't let us do it at our decided venue. We're doing it at our family vacation home in another state to keep costs low, if we don't let her. I never had big parties or celebrations. It was always my spoiled sister who had the big parties and gifts. I picked my family vacation house because it was my late grandmother's house that my dad now owns. My family and friends are offering to help us cover the costs of finding a bigger, nicer venue, but my mom is asking me to work it out with my father and sister who are refusing to talk to me because I'm being an egoistic bride. When I heard that, I got really mad and yelled at him for all his shortcomings as a father in my life and blocked both of them. His side of the family has been calling me nonstop to calm down and talk to them as well. Am I overreacting? Should I just talk it out and convince her to pick another dress? Edit. So a lot of people have been asking about this, so I thought I'll just mention it here. Growing up, like I think until I was a teen, we were in a very weird financial situation and money was tough. My sister and I were born back to back, and because of our short age gap and our parents being in their early 20s while entering parenthood, I always felt like I was the reason for our financial position. I was more or less the unexpected, unwanted child of his. While my sister was planned, TLDR, my spoiled sister wants to walk down the aisle with me in white, and my father is encouraging her.